Art imitating life, imitating art, predicting life. Classic movies by Judy Dungey. H.G. Wells presents Things to Come, 1936.
Supposedly made by H.G. himself in collaboration with Alexander Korda, the Steven Spielberg of their time, Things to Come was apparently the first multi-million-dollar movie made in England, and for the day, it's not too bad at all. The effects are reasonably passable and quite clever, even compared to modern CGI standards. The result is nothing less than H.G. Wells' vision of the future of mankind. Beginning in 1940, with a spookily accurate prediction of a world suddenly plunged into the chaos of an unthinkable Second World War, the film goes on to span the next century of human history. We open on Christmas Eve in a city called Everytown. The place is alight with Christmas excitement, but at the same time, the threat of war is everywhere. "Rumours of war. There's always rumours of war, but they never happen," says Pippa Passworthy, Edward Chapman, stalwart friend of family man John Cabal, Raymond Macy. "Peace in our time," snorts Cabal, unconvinced. And indeed, within moments, the sound of gunfire and bomb-dropping planes is heard. The telephone rings, and the city has been mobilised. The next scenes depict the reality of what did happen over England a few short years later. Wells got it wrong by only 1 year. Scenes of trucks, guns, uniforms and gas masks, along with dire public announcements and directions to subway shelters, all the trappings we saw in the Blitz. This film recorded it all 3 years before it began. The horrors of years of war and battle follow, a montage both accurate and appalling. Our hero, John Cabal, becomes a pilot. In a scene reminiscent more of the gentlemanly heroics of the First World War, he downs a plane as it drops gas bombs on a house. Then he lands and drags the enemy pilot from his burning plane. "Oh, why do we have to kill each other?" he cries. The prescience of the first chapter of the film becomes less accurate as it continues, however. This imagined world war rages on for 30 years without a pause, or even a winner, reducing the entire world to rubble. Then follows the wandering sickness, a plague suggesting that perhaps biological weapons have been used. Victims wander through the wreckage of Everytown like zombies, and people run away in terror of being infected by the highly contagious disease. The only answer is to shoot them like mad dogs. Civilization is gone, science is gone, education, medicine, the arts, all are gone, and the world has been reduced to a medieval realm overseen by warlords. In Everytown, a strong man has emerged known as the Boss, Ralph Richardson. Once he was the only man strong enough to shoot those with the wandering sickness. Now he takes credit for the defeat of the plague. He rules a feudal world of wretches, living the best they can from day to day on the ruins of the old world. He fights endless wars with neighbouring warlords, and is the quintessential strongman, ruling by violence and fear alone. Into this primitive world, one day, flies a futuristic plane piloted by John Cabal, now 30 years older and wearing a futuristic uniform with an oversized helmet. Cabal tells the Boss that he represents a new order, wings over the world, which has harnessed all the powers of science and technology to create a world of order and peace. The Boss immediately throws this threat to his power in the dungeon. Of course. After the wings of the world finally overcomes the Boss through an impressive display of wondrous air machines and the use of the gas of peace, Cabal gives us Wells's speech about overcoming all the warlords one at a time until the Brotherhood of Efficiency will take the world forward to its rightful place, because progress is what mankind must always do. Finally, the film jumps to 2036, when the Brotherhood have achieved everything Wells envisaged: beautiful, clinically clean underground cities lit by artificial sunlight, where everyone has everything they need and peace in our time is a reality. John Cabal's great-grandson now runs this perfect world. Unfortunately, all Wells' dreams and ideas of a perfect future seem to fall apart at this point. Ready to conquer space by sending a space gun rocket around the moon, Cabal finds himself opposed by a local philosopher called Theotokopoulos, Cedric Hardwicke, who expounds the theory that mankind does not need this constant push for progress, and it's time now to rest and reap the rewards of all those years of striving. The unrest that follows is targeted on the space gun and the human sacrifice involved. For the crew of the rocket is none other than John Cabal's own daughter, Catherine, Pearl Argyle, and Horry, great-great-grandson of our old friend, Pippa Passworthy. Will the rioting people stop the rocket? Or will they be blown away by the concussion? Whatever happens, Cabal is left with a great opportunity to declaim Wells's final thought on the future. It's just a shame that his speech is littered with words like conquer and subdue, ideas of domination, exploitation, and other testosterone-fueled imagery that seem in direct opposition to his early calls of peace and harmony. All in all, Things to Come is disconcertingly close to the bone at first and shows us a nightmare future that may or may not yet come true. However, it's far enough off the mark to give comfort and allow us to admire a very interesting look at a future that might have been our past. Or is it a past that might have been our future?
Things to Come is available to stream on Prime subscription or Mubi subscription. This article was read by Rebecca Rose.
Sandy Miller.